Hello and welcome to the Savvy Gadgetz channel with me Ian, otherwise known as Van, and Star Rupture base building part 1 Smelters. So previously I've got some bases that I've set up and I'm not happy with them. They're either slow or far too spread out. So we'll take a quick look at those and we're going to be taking points from those bases and incorporating into my new base in this video and going forward. So, if you do enjoy the video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. It only takes a second and it helps me out immensely and it's greatly appreciated. Take a look at the description to join the socials and join us on Sunday afternoon 1 o'clock GMT for a live stream. Okay, so this is my first base, as you can see already where the problems lie. But the idea was this was like a round-robin approach. So with the storage depots here, you can see that the raw materials come in here on that side. So you've got like the titanium, wolfram, calcium, the hydrogen is back there, and that's the sulfur. And then they would be fed out. They would go along here, and they would get, as you can see, all of the other materials are stored here as well, and then they would get put into the relevant machine. So in this case, you've got the smelters where the raw materials go in. You can see how many there are, and then obviously the fabricators, and as I got more and more machines, and then the furnaces, and then the mega presses, and so on and so forth. And when they produce stuff, they come out the other side, and then they go back round, and then they would feed round and then feed back into the next line of storage. Now this worked okay at lower volumes, so if you take a look at these, and so each line represents a particular machine. So you've got the raw materials there, then you've got the outputs from the smelters, and then you've got the outputs from the fabricators, then the furnaces, and then the mega presses, and so on and so forth. And the whole idea was that it would all just go round in a circle, and that kind of worked. It does work, it's just extraordinarily slow, which is the biggest problem. And as you can see, you get choke points like this one where you've got lots of other bits and pieces trying to feed onto another conveyor belt, because some materials don't just go to the next machine, they go to several machines ahead as well. So furnaces can take raw materials rather than just processed materials. And then eventually it'll just feed out to what I needed to do to send it up to get the contracts fulfilled. So that idea kind of worked. I wanted to do something similar. I think having the depots is a good idea. I'm just going to do it slightly differently. As you can see, this just turns into a spaghetti mess of where I've just tried to feed things out on other rails. It's just a disaster. So I'll try and do something kind of like this, I think, maybe, not sure. But that's the first base. Let's move on to the next. Right, so this is the second time that I tried to build a base, different save. And as you can see, this is a lot more laid out. It's a lot more a case of feeding things forward. So for each one of these titanium ore extractors, they feed 3 smelters. So these 9 smelters are fed by those 3 titaniums, and the wolfram ore extractors feed these sets of 3 smelters. And I've kept it compartmentalized, so you've got titanium on the right, wolfram on the left, and further down there's a calcium deposit. And this is a feed forward mechanism. So rather than it being like the round robin like the last one, this one just feeds forward and feeds into the next set of machines, and can bypass them if it needs to feed onto. So here the smelters feed onto the fabricators, but they can also feed straight onto the, and you can see how stretched out this is. It takes up so much space, it's unreal. And then it starts feeding onto the furnaces, and then there's so many fabricators, it's unreal. And then more furnaces. But in this particular one, you can see down here I've got the dispatchers. These are all of the calcium stuff. So anything to do with calcium starts over the back there where that core is, feeds all the way forward, and in some cases it just has to feed up into the air where it's then caught by cargo receivers elsewhere. And you can see the base in the background, which also does something similar. Then there's a base over there for the hydrogen, there's a base over there for the sulfur, there's similar bases over there that are just doing tritanium things and wolfram things that are just over that hill, and it's just so spread out, it's unreal. So I want to try and avoid that as much as I can, and what we're going to look at, I think it's on this particular one. Let's see if I've got my test bed. It might be on the other one actually. Yeah, I think it's on the other one. Is that you can actually stack all 3 lines of these 3 smelters on top of one another. So that's what I'm going to try and do. I thought I had an example of it. It must be on my other level, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 3 smelters along. I'm going to keep the same sort of similar pattern. So you've got 3 smelters there, then above them you'll get another 3 smelters, and above that you'll get another 3 smelters. So you'll have all 9 smelters just taking up that small space. And again, the same on the other side for the tritanium. The fabricators, that's going to be a more difficult premise because there are just so many of them. And let's just take a look, because a lot of them are producing rods, I think. So yeah, that line of 4 will be producing rods. This line of 3 will be producing plate. And I've got other bases doing exactly the same thing. One's the beam, and then these move forward, and then they're doing things like the tubes, and so on and so on and so on and so forth. So again, what I'm hoping to do is try and stack those in groups of, say, 4 or 3, and use a feed forward mechanism whilst using depots in between. So for each of these 9, also each line of 3 in this stack of 9, there's going to be at least 3 depots that are going to be fed from those 9 and then feed forward. Or maybe I'll just have 1 for each, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Right, so let's start a brand new game, and I'll get some materials together and we'll start doing the build. Okay, so first off I've cleared out the area, and the next thing I need to do is put down my base core. And because I've tidied up a couple of meteors, that's given me a couple of base cores to work with. And what I want to do is I actually want to try and build this in a way so that you can see in the distance. That was the wrong thing to do. It's almost the right place. Is I want to try and kind of split it in half. And I can just about see. Here, that it's, you can see in the distance. You can see nearer the wolfram, the tritanium iron mining nodes, and then in the distance you can see the wolfram ones. I just want to try and get it so there's a definitive split. I just want to move it just a little bit further forward. I think just about there should do it. And then what I want to do is I want to do the same the other side. So that way I'm sharing the heat load over 2 different cores, if that makes any sense. Because you see this white line, this is where the divide is going to be pretty much. So you've got the wolfram stuff on this side, which will all be dealt with in this core, and then in the wolfram core that's going to be in here. Now, there could be some overlap, but I think that's about as compact as I'm going to get it. And you can see where they're going to sort of meet. Ish. Can't put it there, so I think we're just going to have to go with a guesstimate and just dump that there. And that's kind of, it's a bit too close. Maybe I'll just put it a bit further back. I mean, I could leave it there. But I'm going to push it just a little bit further in this direction. Oh, it's a bit too far. There's a gap in the middle, look. So I need to bring this one forward a bit more. I'll bring it forward a couple of spaces so that at least the edges overlap. And I think getting that, putting that just there, I think that probably covers it. So yeah, the borders are sort of... Oh no, look, this is... Oh yeah, so the borders actually overlap a bit, which is good. So there's an overlap in the middle here, that's fine. We can live with that. I might put that back a bit further. So, right, okay. There we go. So that's our base course sorted out. I'll gather the initial materials and I'll start off the first set of buildings for the wolf, for the Tritania. So I've laid out my first 3 smelters for my tritanium extractors, and I've added a singular. For the moment, we will extend this out backwards a little bit as we need to, and the same the other side for the wolfram. But we're going to start off by building our next level. Now you'll notice that I've left a space in between each one. That's because we're going to have a pillar. So we go low down, so it's 1, 2, 3, and then 1 on top. And then the same the other side. So 1, 2, 3, and 1 on top. And then we add a hat. Then on the back, just here, we just have it just sticking out, and I go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Add a hat. And then we can add our other 3 smelters. Just make sure they're the right way round. Add in each yellow, so that's the first one. And then there's our third. So that's how we get our 3 tiers. And then we'll add the same over this side. So if we take the pillar, so we do the back one is 1 there and 2 there and there. We just build on top. Add a platform or a little hat. There we go. And then we add our other smelters. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, let's also add some ladders all over the place so we can actually get up to that level. Because obviously we need to get to these at some point. And then we can start wiring them up. Now, because I don't have the 3-way splitter yet, I'm going to have to use the rail connector. And I can put one above. Like that. And another one above. And then I can wire in this. And I can go here to here, here to there. And you could do it up or down, it's up to you, but I think this is the most appropriate. And then we take our next one along, which is this one around the back, I suspect. Yep, that one over there. And that can go in straight in there. That can go there. That can go in there. Now when I get the three-way splitter version, I'll actually have to climb the ladder for this one. You're going in there, you're going in there, you're going in that one, and that one over there. There we go. So they're all wired up. Now what I'm just going to do is going to actually add some additional platforms in up here so I can just run around a bit willy-nilly. That's likely to fall out of it then. And now what we need is power, but we also need to sort this out so that they're all generating the right thing and they're all going to be doing tritanium bar. They just fall down. You can actually land on the rails as well. And even if they've got power in them, they don't hurt you, so it's not a problem. Right, so the only problem we do have now is we don't have anywhere near enough power to run these things. So we're going to have to add a few generators. Probably more than I want. Oh, there we go. And we now have 9 smelters smelting tritanium. And then, because this is the first stage, I can actually push all of that out to the orbital uploaders, and that'll be done in no time. Now, I need to do the same on the other side for the Wolfram, so I'm going to make another stack of 9 for the Wolfram to create Wolfram bar. And then we'll take a look at the next stage. And here we are. So we have our tritanium on the right, our Wolfram on the left, we've got our power down the centre and down the back of this. We've got, per side, 6 orbital cargo launchers going to the varying different corporations, and this represents every single corporation. So there's 2 for the moon, 1, and then each one, and apart from the tritanium, because there's only 2 that take the tritanium bar. Now it just remains for me to wire them up to see how well this goes. So that's that one, and that one, and that one. Now all of that centre section will be deleted. And be made way for the next set of things, which will be fabricators and then rebuilt further along. But that, as you can see, loads of output, loads of resources moving, and that should fill up our corporations pretty quick. Let's just take a look at the corporate terminal, which is in my habitat. And you can see that one's already got up to 9%. It's building up really quick. So, next video, what I'll be doing is I'll be moving on to the fabricators. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a gap here so that I can have storage. So that I can have a storage per thing. So I'm going to have 9 storages here and then 9 storages on the other side. And then that's all going to feed into the fabricators. Of which I'm going to do another 3-tier system like this. And like I said, all of this is going to disappear. Now, if you've liked the video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. It helps me out immensely, and it only takes a second. But until the next video, thank you very much for watching. Look forward to part 2. See you then. Bye bye.